BioBrick trophies are traveling trophies that are passed from team to team. Last year's winners have graciously relinquished them, but we would like to give them each a trophy for them to keep. Will the representatives from 2007 Vilnius, Lithuania, TU Delft, and TAS Taipei teams please come to the stage to receive their awards.
Julia. Poste mal den Link. Wo ist der drin? Ja, das ist dasselbe wie das letzte Mal.
Ja. Die sind echt cool drauf, die Jungs.
Für die BioBricks.
The bronze, silver, and gold requirements are not easy to meet, but through your results, your part submissions, and your experience in the InterLab, you can make it possible for future teams, both within and outside of iGEM, to do things that they couldn't do otherwise. You're empowering people through the things that you do in those medal requirements. The bronze medalists are
Soll ich das dann auch machen, falls ihr nach oben müsst? Sollen wir nach vorne stehen dann oder wo? Wo sollen wir hier stehen hernach dann?
the gold medalists are
Bielefelder. Sauber. Hamburg, Düsseldorf und Bielefeld. Das ist jetzt nur für die, ich glaube nur für die BioBricks, oder? Die BioBricks. Ding. Okay, ungezügelte Emotionen. Ja, wenn man sonst nichts zu feiern hat, dann ist es auch. Dafür bist du jetzt ein bisschen im Internet. Unsere Biobricks werden nicht so.
All right, in the awards to follow, there will be a list of nominees and then the winner. These nominations, by the way, they feature on the 2018 iGEM results page. We want to see them on your future resumes and CVs. Keep in mind, the nominated teams will also receive a certificate later on. The nominations themselves are a big deal. So, be excited. High school teams, we're so glad to have you here. You've only been here a couple of years and already we see tremendous diversity in the kinds of projects that you're working on. It's really exciting. We, for the high school awards, we'll first reveal a list of the nominees and the winners. If your team is announced as a winner, please send your 2 representatives with yellow bracelets up to the stage to pick up their award. Nominees for the first group of special awards in the high school section are the nominees for the second group of special awards in the high school section are and the winners are nominees for the communication special awards in the high school section are
Livestream. For one film. Sorry.
The nominees for the Parts Special Awards in the high school section are... And the winners are... Let us thank all of the high school teams for their incredible work this year. We look forward to seeing you in the undergrad and then the overgrad sections in future years. Speaking of, for the track awards, the undergraduate and overgraduate sections. The track awards are meant to reward general excellence in the pursuit of knowledge and solution to problems in a number of specified areas of interest where we see iGEM teams really making a difference. Nominees in the following tracks combining the under and overgraduate sections are... And the winners are... The nominees in the following tracks for the overgraduate section are... And the winners are...
Do it! The nominees for the following tracks in the undergraduate section are... And the winners are... A good day.
Nominees for the following tracks in the overgraduate section are...
Für die Leute daheim lächeln.
tracks for the undergraduate section are... And the winners are... Traditionally, an iGEM team's contribution is centered around the production, analysis, and application of standardized biological parts. But over time, the iGEM community has recognized there are important contributions being made to synthetic biology, being made by teams that work outside of this paradigm. So we would like to recognize outstanding work in the following special tracks. For the special tracks, the winners are... So, we also acknowledge extraordinary achievements in very specific aspects of the competition through a series of special awards. These awards are meant to highlight particular accomplishments that we would like to bring to the attention of the community and to future iGEM teams. The winner for Best Plant Synthetic Biology in the overgraduate section is... The winner for Best Plant Synthetic Biology in the undergraduate section is...
Livestream das gerade. Ich kann euch den Link weiterschicken, falls ihr Werbung daheim machen wollt.
Ja, ja gerne.
The nominees for
Schmeiß
Best
mal die
Software Tool
Mische.
and Best Hardware in the overgraduate section are... And the winners are... The nominees for Best Software Tool and Best Hardware in the undergraduate section are... And the winners are... When your presentations, your posters, your wikis are clear and compelling, other scientists and engineers, designers, policymakers, stakeholders, all of them can more effectively engage with your work. This is important. It's important enough. iGEM has developed a set of a PR toolkit that helps you tell your story to the press so that you can better engage with your communities. This is valued at iGEM. The nominees for the Communication Special Awards in the overgraduate section are... And the winners are...
Sauberes Ding.
The nominees for the Communication Special Awards in the undergraduate section are... And the winners are... A solid, well-documented parts collection can be a future iGEM team's project. It can serve as the foundation for them solving a problem that maybe you don't even know exists. It's also just really cool when one of your peers runs up and tells you, hey, someone's using your part. It's a nice feeling because you know that you have contributed something to the community that makes a difference. Nominees for the Part Special Awards in the overgraduate section are... And the winners are... The nominees for the Part Special Awards in the undergraduate section are...
Stücke sind ja Partygruppen drin, also
Ja.
einfach weitergeben noch.
Nein.
For the Entrepreneurship and Product Design Special Awards, I'd like to invite our keynote speaker, Ingrid Swanson-Pultz, back to the stage. Give her a warm round of applause.
The ability to translate your academic, science, and engineering projects into a product that people actually use that's commercially viable is a very, very important skill. iGEM projects would remain just iGEM projects without phenomenal entrepreneurship. So this year's nominees for the Entrepreneurship and Product Design nominees in the overgraduate division are and the winners are this year's nominees for the Entrepreneurship and Product Design Awards for the undergraduate division are and the winners are
Bisschen Enthusiasmus da drüben.
Ja, der Markus schlägt schon voll das einfach direkt vorne bleiben.
For the Measurement and Model Special Awards, I would like to welcome co-chair of iGEM's Measurement Committee, Natalie Barney, to the stage.
Measurement and modeling are at the heart of what we do at iGEM. They help us to standardize our biological parts and help us facilitate better and more reproducible engineering of biological processes. Your measurements, all the measurements you worked so hard on this summer, are the language in which you communicate the function of your parts to each other and to the synthetic biology community. And your models are what allow us to predict how engineered systems are going to behave. So together, these are a key part of the future of synthetic biology and in transforming biology into a truly engineering discipline. So thanks for all of your hard work this summer. So the nominees for the special awards in the overgraduate section are
Natürlich wollte ich euch wieder arbeiten. Aber Sie haben mit
and the winners are
zusammengearbeitet. Also
To present the Human Practices Awards, I'd like to welcome to the stage the Director of iGEM's Human Practices, Megan Palmer.
You as iGEMers reflect on how the world affects your work and how your work affects the world. Human practices is a foundational element of iGEM, as the central challenge that you are all responding to is to make something useful with biotechnology. Making something useful requires engaging with questions about what exactly makes something desirable and to whom. It requires reflecting on our responsibilities for ensuring that things we make help and don't harm. It also requires acting on those responsibilities by evolving and adapting our designs and our practices. You as iGEMers really embrace the messy, complex, ongoing challenge of figuring out what problems biotechnology is best positioned to solve. These problems often don't have simple answers, or a single answer. Our philosophy in iGEM is therefore to rely on you to show us how to be thoughtful and creative in approaching the diversity of societal issues in your projects, both within and beyond the lab. Engaging in this way is also about exploring the roles that you might play after iGEM to assure to yourselves and to others that your work is safe, responsible, and good for the world. Everybody at iGEM engages in human practices, and we've been so excited to see how enthusiastically you take on these aspects of your iGEM experience. And today we are recognizing excellence in two related aspects of human practices. In integrated human practices, we are looking for teams that take an innovative approach to incorporating social values and practices in the engineering design loop. In education and public engagement, we are recognizing teams that develop outstanding approaches to help others meaningfully engage in shaping synthetic biology beyond any particular project. In each case, we are looking for teams that really set an inspiring example for others and help you to take an approach that is impacting both your technical and your social practices in the lab. So the nominees for the Human Practices Special Awards in the overgraduate section are and the winners are Special Awards in the undergraduate section are and the winners are
I'd like to welcome iGEM's Director of Safety and Security, Piers Millett, to announce that committee's award.
Good afternoon, iGEM. Now, the last time I was on this stage a few days ago, feels like about a month, I was here congratulating you for proving to the world that good science and engineering is always safe science and engineering. And you have absolutely excelled over the last few days. Safety and security have been at the heart of so many projects, so many presentations, so many posters and so many wikis. You really are leading the world in making safety and security something that enables the most exciting projects possible and not gets in the way. But today we're here to celebrate excellence. The Safety and Security Committee wanted to highlight, to showcase a couple of projects. They wanted to send a very clear message of congratulating teams when they go above and beyond iGEM's already world-leading standards, or when they open a door, a new possibility for teams for next year and in the future. And that's why it's a great pleasure to be able to announce these two nominations for the Safety and Security Award this year. Bielefeld CBTech were nominated because they took the initiative in dealing with dual-use issues with the misuse of But they didn't stop there. Having figured that out, they went out and found out how our communities around the world felt about this issue. They built tools that other iGEM teams have actually used. They found a way to reward you for doing that through the use of badges. NUS Singapore A were nominated for developing protocols and working with the Safety and Security Committee to find a way to take the results, the product of their engineered system outside of the laboratory, out into the real world. They developed protocols agreed by the committee that let them do something that we haven't seen before. And that's why it was important to think about future iGEM teams having new ways to share the results of their incredible work with the world. And that's why it's a great pleasure in 2018 to announce that the Safety and Security Award goes to
I know we all appreciate the time and careful attention that the judges have put in on a volunteer basis here at the Jamboree. Every year there are a couple of prizes that we like to award where we could find judges that really go above and beyond. To give those prizes, I'd like to welcome back to the stage the Director of Judging, Peter Carr.
Hi, iGEM. It's good to see you again. It's been too long. This is our opportunity to recognize our judges in two ways right now, and a few words on that. I'd like to highlight how our judges are not something that is separate from the iGEM community, but deeply a part of it, that is a part of our shared community together, and that is we draw so heavily on former iGEMers for our judging body. So when I look out over all of you seated here, in addition to, as been pointed out, the wonderful future entrepreneurs, innovators, policymakers, and educators, I also have the privilege of seeing our future judges. I haven't spotted which ones yet, but I'm looking forward to learning that and meeting you in the future. Your judges are very, very much like you. They are intelligent, they are dedicated, they are enthusiastic. Like you and like all of us, they are not perfect. They are human, and they share your passion for iGEM, and I love working with them. It's a great honor for me to get to work with them every year. And so the first thing we're going to do is ask the group of judges to my right to stand. That's your cue. Excellent. You do take your and we have several slides. Please stay standing. These people are putting a lot of hard work too. We're going to look at these slides. About 170 judges here serving the iGEM community in this special way. We have one more. Thank you, iGEM judges. The next way that we have to recognize our judges, and again, this is just like other iGEM awards. This is just like other iGEM awards in that we have a lot of awesomeness and excellence that we've seen in the service of the judges, and we only get to recognize a little bit of it here, but it's still worth calling out that excellence. And we give 2 awards, one for a judge who has served in that role for several years, and another for a judge who is still early on in their first or second year of judging. And I'm going to ask them to stand and come to the stage. I believe, yes indeed, I see my colleagues holding the precious judging award gavels that they will be awarded. So I ask you please to come to the stage when I call your name and to come and accept that bit of recognition that we have for you. And so the recipients of those awards are the best rookie judge, Tessa Alexanian, best veteran judge, Patrick Wu. Thank you very much, Tessa and Patrick, for your excellent service to iGEM. Nice talking to you folks. Should also be noted that Patrick was up on some of those videos that you saw earlier. If you watch them again, keep your eye on them.
How would you like to give a prize? The iGEMers prize is selected by you, members of the iGEM community, to the team that really caught your eye. And to give the iGEMers prize this year, I'd like to call John Gurgis to the stage.
Hello, everyone. My favorite part about iGEM is that we get to do all of it as a team. We struggle as a team, we learn as a team, we overcome as a team. Come to the giant Jamboree. That once you get here, you realize you're actually part of a much bigger team, the iGEM, and then we'll. So today, iGEM, that giant team, all of us, all of you, has voted together and chosen one team that is connected and resonated with all of us. So, without further ado, the winner of the iGEMers prize this year is...
For the Chairman's Award, which is next, and the finalist awards to come, we'd like to invite the entire team to come up to the stage. And to give the Chairman's Award, I would like to invite back to the stage, Randy Redberg.
So I like the Chairman's Award because I get to pick. So that's always nice. iGEM is the heart of synthetic biology. Well, I know that everybody here doesn't
speak English as a first language. So when we say it's the heart, there are two important ways. The heart beats in you, and it pumps the blood throughout your body and keeps you alive, right? And so iGEM does that for the synthetic biology industry. It provides the people, the ideas, the inspiration, and the goals that makes the synthetic biology industry succeed. The heart also is the place you have the feeling. Your heart feels warm, your heart appreciates. So I like that part of the Chairman's Award as well. We don't generally look for teams that have done a great job in the lab. We don't necessarily look for teams that have overcome obstacles, because we've all overcome obstacles. iGEM isn't easy. iGEM's worth it. We don't look for people that had just simply not enough resources, although many teams have that problem. Those that have had political problems, although in these times we certainly have teams that have troubles in their countries, where there are difficulties, unrest. We've had teams that have had problems with visas getting into this country, and some of those have been very sad. And some of them have affected quite a few members of the team. My heart goes out to those iGEM teams and students. There's another part of the heart that matters, and that is this question of who gets to participate. Who gets to be a synthetic biologist? Who gets to be an iGEM? In iGEM, our view is anybody who can pay the fees, do the work, come to the Jamborees, participate. We don't try to have other rules. We don't care if you're male or female or something else. We don't care what the color of your skin is. We don't care what language you speak, but you got to do your speech in English. I guess we care a little bit. We don't care if you have disabilities. You know, I know that in every culture, in every language, you have your heroes. And I know that I don't know who your heroes are, but they're important. I know that you have your stories in your language, and I don't know what those stories are. If you told them to me, I wouldn't understand them. So I can only relate to some of the stories and some of the heroes in the world that we have. Stephen Hawking's, you know, black holes, disability, great brain. Boy, the world has gotten a lot from that. So as we think about synthetic biology going forward, what things are going to be important? Is it going to be a rule that if you can't pipette, you can't be a synthetic biologist? I know perfectly good computer architects that probably can't solder. So the question is, what are the rules, and what do we allow? So the team that we've selected today is representing the question of disabilities. It is representing a team that has embraced one of the students with a disability and taken that student on as a leader. So if we can have the winner of the Chairman's Award.
Chairman's Prize this year goes to a team that got us excited about the idea of accessibility in iGEM, increasing the number of people who can do iGEM. We're a very large community, we're very diverse, but there's one thing that I think we can all agree on. Working in the lab is hard. What is the deal, for example, with manual pipetting, right? Have you tried this? Manual pipettes, they're terrible. They're slow, they're clunky, they're inaccurate, you know, the tip falls off and it contaminates the sample. It's terrible. But for scientists with disabilities, it's even worse than that, right? So if you are a scientist with a disability, it means that entering the lab often means coming into a place that wasn't designed for you, a place that's full of cool technology that you can't use and experiments that you can't do, and that stinks. But there's good news. The good news is that we are entering the era of laboratory automation and rapid hardware prototyping. So in the future, a lot of your experiments will be done by robots or by devices that are custom made for specific applications and the needs of specific users. And I'm confident that the iGEM community is going to be leaders in developing these new technologies. It's a win-win scenario. The same technologies that we all want, that was going to make science easy for all of us, will make science possible for even more. In order for that to happen, we need iGEMers with disabilities in leadership roles, people who are willing to have the courage to go into the lab that wasn't designed correctly, to do it anyway, to make it work, because making it work is what iGEMers do, and then to be leaders, to raise their voices and say, this is my experience, these are the technologies that I think need to be created for the new labs. And so the team, the Chairman's Award winning team this year did just that. So thank you very much, OLS Canmore.
So I'd like to give OLS Canmore Canada a round of applause that they can hear wherever they are. All right, for the winners and the runners-up, we'd like to ask the entire team to come join us on the stage. The winner of the high school section is... The first runner-up of the overgraduate section is...
Sehr gut, sehr gut. Sehr gut, Glückwunsch.
Congratulations. Are really pretty. Awesome. Yeah, I love your podcast.
The second runner-up of the undergraduate section is...
Hallo zu Mami. Hallo zu allen, die da zuschauen.
Ja, meine Mama, ist das ein Livestream? Da schaut meine Mama zu. Hallo Mama! Glückwunsch! Herzlichen Glückwunsch!
Gratuliere! Starkes Ding.